Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel A Vision. Here you will find practice material for PTE. If you like our videos, then please subscribe our channel. Thank you.
In communities across the country, social workers are walking door to door in search of millions of students their schools have been missing, a stark reality as districts combat an absenteeism crisis amid the coronavirus pandemic. Despite long-standing, compulsory education laws that require students to attend school or face punishment, including fines and incarceration in some states, many districts have avoided pushing students into the juvenile justice system for truancy during the pandemic. But as growing evidence suggests that such an approach is counterproductive, some experts worry about what could come next. Pretty soon, I think that folks are going to start relying on the stick more than they have been, said Ray Saldana, CEO of the nonprofit Communities in Schools. That'll be the completely wrong conversation to have because these students don't need truancy court, they don't need fines. Rather than being willfully defiant, truant students are often suffering from homelessness or violence, he said. They need interventions, they don't need to be seen by a judge.
The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in at least one positive thing: a much greater appreciation for the importance of public schools. As parents struggle to work with their children at home due to school closures, public recognition of the essential caretaking role schools play in society has skyrocketed. As young people struggle to learn from home, parents' gratitude for teachers, their skills, and their invaluable role in student well-being has risen. As communities struggle to take care of the vulnerable children and youth, decision-makers are having to devise new mechanisms for delivering essential services from food to education to health care. We believe it is also valuable to look beyond these immediate concerns to what may be possible for education on the other side of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is hard to imagine there will be another moment in history when the central role of education in the economic, social, and political prosperity and stability of nations is so obvious and well understood by
Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi was getting on a train. One of his sandals slipped off and fell to the ground. The train was moving, and there was no time to go back. Without hesitation, Gandhi took off his second sandal and threw it toward the first. Asked by his colleague why he did that, he said one sandal wouldn't do him any good, but two would certainly help someone else. As Perkins writes in his new book, Future Wise, people cherish the story as a marvelous example of a charitable act. And so it is, on a small scale, seizing a singular moment. But as he also points out, and as he told an audience at the Future of Learning Institute held this past summer at the Ed School, it was more than that, it was also a knowledgeable act. By throwing that sandal, Gandhi had two important insights: he knew what people in the world needed, and he knew what to let go of. Educators, Perkins says, need to embrace these same insights. School days are unforgettable, inerasable and the inseparable experiences a person who has received the formal education lives with. You may forget your old colleagues, your previous job and the boss, but the enchanted memories of the school remain preserved in one of the corners of the mind. Previously I assigned a task, that of writing school experience to an education expert. When it was ready I realized that it presented a mature outlook and reflected the opinion and the vision of the expert and not the immaturity and innocence of the child. It was then I started interacting with children to find out what it means to be at the school. This excerpt presents a 360-degree view of the same. School days are different for students in different classes. A child in 3rd standard sees school differently than a 7th grade student. There are but some elements that are repeated by most of the children and students in different standards.
The history of software is of course very new. And the whole IT industry is really only 67 years old. Which is extraordinary, and to be so close to the birth of a major new technology, a major new discipline is quite remarkable given where we got to in those 67 years. And the progression has been not so much a progression as a stampede, because Moore's law, the rapid expansion in the power of computing and the rapid fall of the cost of computing and storage and communications has made it feasible for information technology to move into all sorts of areas of life that were never originally envisaged. What has happened is that there has been, as I said, a stampede for people to pick the low-hanging fruit. And that is what's guided the development of software and information technology over the past decades and continues to do so, with a number of consequences that we will explore.